Hallelujah. Wow, the Norton Museum of Art. It doesn't get better than this. I am an artist, I am a preservationist, Art Deco building, and all of you. Art After Dark in the new Fisher Gallery? Maybe, maybe not. The International Coalition of Art Deco Societies. I just went to Cuba, and just Sunday I came back from Portland, Oregon, where I gave 2 lectures on the Art Deco in Cuba. Many people are interested in this right now. It's a very timely issue and a wonderful country to visit now that it's opening up. And I will take questions on Cuba later. I am a mural artist and designer. I get up on ladders and scaffolds and I mix paint. This is Palm Springs Middle, which actually made an Art Deco, a decometric school. And we had all these murals there. This was the cafeteria, and this was the media center. Whoop, I missed one. I just came back from Tallahassee. I spoke at the State Historic Capitol Museum on Art Deco in Palm Beach County, which you will all become experts of in this next 30 minutes. And I will press this button to make sure that I don't go over 30 minutes. Resume. This is not an Art Deco building, but they were very interested in everything that's going on in the arts community in Palm Beach County. I've been doing things at the Norton for 30 years. This is my temple. When they had the Angels exhibit, we did an artist in residence with kids, and we did a mural, Angels at Work. We've done things like Barbie. They had a Barbie exhibit. Make a face. There's Barbie. Ken, you could take his face off too. You could be an angel. All kinds of wonderful things. We did MC Escher workshops when they had that exhibit. Oh, we skipped. Go back. No, doesn't like that one. Doesn't like that one, but that was my book. You'll have to see it at the end. So where do we start? If we want to talk about Art Deco, where do we start? Why do we even care about Art Deco? So let's start with what is Art Nouveau. The 1890s, the 1900s. Think Toulouse-Lautrec. Think feminine, flowering, organic, fluid, nature. Think Antonio Gaudí, Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. This is the inside. Bones, organic, things growing, natural. A celebration of femininity. Women with vines in their hair. Long, flowing, voluptuous women. You can't tell where the woman begins and where the flowers start. The Norton had an exhibit called The Spirit of Art Nouveau. Anybody see that? Great exhibit. Alphonse Mucha. Also Klimt, you all know the name Klimt, the Kiss. He would be considered Art Nouveau. Think of Toulouse-Lautrec and the Can-Can girls, the frilly crinoline. Okay? Peacocks. See the round peacocks? Think of birds and fish and butterflies. And they love peacocks. Think of the Job cigarette papers. So we're at the beginning of the machine age. Mass production. Why? Because everything is made by hand, right? Everything is made by hand until we invent machines. It's hard to realize. So we invent machines, and they're copying everything that's made by hand, but nobody wants to buy anything machine-made because it's crass and it's cheap-looking and it doesn't have old-world craftsmanship. But they know machines are the wave of the future. So what do? they find out that the machine can do one thing you cannot do by hand: make a straight line. In 1922, Howard Carter discovers King Tut's tomb, and everything becomes Egyptian. Tall, skinny, stylized, geometric. What's a pyramid? Steps, right? A zigzag, a lightning bolt. So you go up, across, geometry. Worshipping the sun, worshipping the dead, right? Everything Egyptian. So, by 1925, there's an international exposition des arts décoratifs et industriels modernes. And we get that word there, Art Deco, from arts décoratifs. But they don't call this word Art Deco till 1968. Wow, they looked back and said, let's call everything that happens from 1925 to 1939. Let's just call everything Art Deco. Furniture, ceramics, jewelry, architecture, fashion. Let's just call everything Art Deco. And that's what we do. So it's very hard to put things exactly what is it. But what I like to call it is the beginning of modernism, the modern age. And why do we care about Art Deco today? Because it was life in the fast lane. And we could not be living in a faster life than now, where I'm having this laser pointer and you have to turn off your cell phones and we're texting, right? Speed. So if it's the opposite of Art Nouveau, it's a revolt. It's geometric, it's masculine, it's hard edge, futuristic. The animals are now the whippet and the gazelle and the deer, right? It's the masculine, futuristic. No more birds and butterflies. Someone's talking? A request. Hello. Does someone have a request?
Be quiet.
Oh, be quiet. Yeah, be quiet. Okay. So, this is where I lived when I was in New York. This was my apartment. I love New York. I loved the Empire State Building. I loved Chrysler Building. Way down there, this is jiggling, way down there were the World Trade Centers. Because architecturally, at the time, we didn't think they were very significant. Anyway, I didn't want to move to Florida. I love New York. But things happen. My family moved. So 30 years ago, I came to Florida. But in New York, you have the Empire State Building. So how could the Empire State Building be Art Deco and what I'm calling the Norton Museum of Art? They don't even look alike. Well, we're going to learn and see features, and because they're concurrent at the same time, we will see why we call Art Deco and why we actually call Florida Art Deco streamlined modern, which is the absence of man's idiosyncratic embellishments. So here we see decoration, but see the stepping up like a pyramid, stepping back. In New York, they passed a law because the skyscrapers were killing the sun. In other cities, where they have earthquakes, they were afraid things would fall down. So this stepping back protected the people and left in the sun. But everything in Art Deco is three, the groups of three. We don't know why, maybe because of the pyramid, but we'll see 1, 2, 3. We'll see stepping up 3. We'll see 1, 2, 3. It's always symmetrical. What's on the left will be on the right. It will not be asymmetrical like the letter L. Art Deco, balance. When you live in New York, you get to see things like the original blueprints for the Chrysler Building. Wow, that was really something. But I have a Chrysler Building Lego set. Did you all see here at the Norton when they had Dan Parker Lego, those fabulous skyscrapers around the world? Wasn't that an amazing architectural exhibit here? Well, I was a member of the Art Deco Society in New York. I worked on this guide. This is the Chrysler Building. You know, I was invited to all the events. And when I moved to Florida, I kind of missed that culture. But let's look at the Chrysler Building. Here we see the stepping up, the 1, 2, 3. And what kind of bird is that? An eagle, a masculine, aggressive eagle for Art Deco. We see the Empire State Building in the background. This is when it was under construction. And we see June 84. I moved here December 85. Whoa. I meet Barbara Bayer Capitman in South Beach, Miami. She's passed away since then. She said, Sharon Koskoff, you will start the Art Deco Society of the Palm Beaches. I said, what? I'm a mural artist. I'm a designer. I don't know about 501c3 organization. What do you mean start an organization? Well, she mentored me as she did many people. There are Art Deco societies all over the world. Anywhere architecture was built in the 30s and 40s is Art Deco. So no matter what town you come from, there's an Art Deco building there. They might have torn it down, but probably not. Anywhere in the world, Africa, Australia, Europe, Detroit, we're meeting in Cleveland next year, Boston, New York, Chicago, Tulsa, everywhere. There's Art Deco everywhere. She wrote those books. She sent me off and said, find the Art Deco in Palm Beach County. So I find this building. That certainly doesn't look like the Empire State Building. But it does have a flat roof, these stripes called bandings, rounded corners for speed, for streamlining, and this important thing here called an eyebrow. An eyebrow is a flat, linear plane, a shelf over a window. In Florida, keep out the sun. I get it. I go back, I say, Barbara, is this what you mean? And she says, yes, streamlined, modern, beautiful building. So I go on my merry way. I'm an artist. I paint the Jazzman. This says 1988 Palm Beach Post. I make 3 limited edition serigraphs. It becomes our logo, ADSPB, Art Deco Society of the Palm Beaches. I get a job. I teach for 15 years at the Armory Art Center, right down the road here. Wonderful art school. And this building was 1939 William Manley King, original National Guard Armory. In the 50s and 60s, they had sock hop. While I was there, Burt Reynolds came. B.L. Stryker was filmed there with Lonnie Anderson. But here it is. So I say, well, let's paint it up like they have Miami. I never thought I'd get to paint a building. You know, South Beach had all those colors in the 80s. Not anymore, by the way. South Beach went white. They don't want to spend the time on a designer or color schemes. But there I am. That's what it looked like. Secondary colors, green, purple, orange. Primary colors are red, yellow, blue. In the 80s and 90s, everything was peach and green. And that's what it looked like. Anybody ever know the Armory? That's in my book. So let's take a look. We see 1, 2, 3. We see the ribbing, which is vertical banding. We see this little fluting up here. You can't see it. The word armory is a relief. It tells you what's going on in the building. And we see the up, down, down. Kind of geometric. And by the way, here they put in the new doors. And this is what it looks like today. They took away the green, purple, orange. They painted it blue to match the sculpture building has a blue roof. To me, it has no contrast against the sky, but they're working on it. We worked hard to save this This was the Twin Lakes High School building. It's now Alexander Dreyfus School of the Arts. Just one of the buildings is Art Deco. But what I started to notice was, you know what's really strange about Palm Beach County? Our arts buildings are in Art Deco historic structures. And I was an artist. So this became very clear to me. Wow, all of our arts buildings are in historic buildings that have history and meaning and sense of place. So we had to convince the school board to save this building. This is what it looks like today. It's lovely. And there's these reliefs. They represent film production, communications, drafting, and printing. And this is from the 30s. So how they knew like it would be an art school one day is just pure magic. So let's take a look. Why is it Art Deco? 1, 2, 3. The rounded corners. See how it steps up, right? So here's your 1, 2, 3 again. What's on the left is on the right. I think we're getting the idea. And the flat roof. Not the A-frame roof, not the Spanish ceramic tile barrel roof, flat roof. This is a little earlier. This is William Manley King, 1922. But this is also interesting because here we have a paintbrush and a violin. So it is the School of Art. But again, that was from 1922. That's across the street from Macy's, if you all know where that is. We used to be called the Norton Gallery and School of Art. When the school went away, the school found its home in the Armory Art Center building. The art school from the Norton found its way into the Armory. But the sign would say Norton Gallery of Art, and as we all know, we're now the Norton Museum of Art. And it's 1, 2, 3. It's symmetrical. It has the bandings. It has the eyebrows. It has the relief. But to me, what is so special are the Paul Manship sculptures of Diana and Actaeon. And I'm not going to tell you too much about the story because you'll all go on the tour at 7:15 and see the architectural tour. They're right outside when you came in on the Olive Avenue entrance. And of course, they're the first pages of my book. Paul Manship is the artist that you see every morning on the Today Show who did the Prometheus Fountain in Rockefeller Center. He wanted to be a painter. He was colorblind, so he became a sculptor. Men are always colorblind, never women. He studied in Rome at the American Academy. He did the Gateway of the Animals in Central Park. Very famous sculptor. Okay, notice the masculine, right? The mythology. Art Deco is the man. When we see the women, she's skinny and tall and elongated. Okay, so the 3 relief out there, inspiration, imagination, and interpretation. I can't think of anything that gives me more chills to follow one's passion in life. So I made a painting. This is my interpretation of Paul Manship's interpretation. And this is the entrance where you entered. We have the eyebrow here. It's an octagonal. And look at the fluted ribbing. Look how it sets back. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There's the words Norton. I believe it's going to say Gallery of Art. And this little border here on the eyebrow, little geometrical border. Okay, this is out and out Art Deco. Now, when I first moved here, the Norton Museum liked to call themselves International Style, which is Frank Lloyd Wright, which is later on. Then, just recently, they said, you know, well, we're art moderne. That's what we are. Nobody wants to be Art Deco like everybody else. They want to be something special. So I agree. It's kind of a classical Art Deco, but it's art moderne, streamlined moderne. You could call it Bauhaus if you were in Germany. You could call it whatever you want. But we know it's this modern, geometric idea. Okay, now, I don't know if you've heard, but that construction they're doing is going to be done by Norman Foster, the world-famous architect. Last month, they kicked off this architectural series. They showed the film. You could watch, if you missed it, it's called How Much Does Your Building Weigh, Mr. Foster? Norman Foster is the architect, and I saw this for free on YouTube. So you can watch it on your phone. You don't even have to have a TV. Watch it, and it's a wonderful, wonderful documentary. And if you look up Norman Foster on Wikipedia, they show this building. He grew up in Manchester, England, and he said that this Art Deco building in Manchester, England, inspired him as an architect. So, let's see. We had the flat roof, we had these bandings, and all this mirror, shiny stuff. All his buildings are very high-tech now and very, very, well, we could say ultra-modern or what have you. But this building in England inspired him. And this is what we had proposed for the new upcoming Norton Museum expansion. Okay, this reminds me, did you all see here at the Norton that John Storrs exhibit? Oh my God, he's a sculptor, and this was the postcard. I came back to see this like 5 times, this exhibit. It was in 2010. And right now, it's a little hot, but in our courtyard, we have this William Wheeler Williams Fountain of Youth, which is, look at the woman, it's a woman, but she's kind of masculine, right? She's not very feminine, she's kind of muscular. And this is right now, if you looked outside the window, an Art Deco sculpture. And Wheeler Williams is also at the Society of Four Arts, where I am the group tour docent during season for 4 years. And they have the panther animals outside the King Library, right? Panther, the strong animal, the fierce animal, masculine. Whoop. They have these murals out there. It's for the drama, literature, music, and art, also at the King Library. WPA kind of murals from the 1930s. A lot of people don't know this. In Palm Beach, there's this building called the Paramount. There was a theater there. Well, you read everywhere, it's Mediterranean revival. Well, I never saw a Mediterranean revival with a mosque, okay? This is a Moorish Deco building built by Joseph Urban, who built Mar-a-Lago, and these two buildings are not, they're kind of Spanish influenced, but in Miami, in New York, he did all of Rockefeller Center. He was an Art Deco interior designer, architect, he was everything. Joseph Urban, one of the most famous leading designers that we have. But if we look here, we see the flat roof, we see the rounded, see this floor plan, this triangular floor plan? Well, this is the floor plan. It's actually 1/4 of Radio City Music Hall floor plan. So even the floor plan is kind of an Art Deco design. And those were some elements, some stylized, simplified pelicans and things that we see on the Paramount. Okay, now we're in Lake Worth. This is called, right now, the Cultural Council Building. How are we doing for time? Is it 7 o'clock? Wow. All right, so we're going to zip through. Cultural Council Building used to be called Pasta Palace. This is what it looks like now. We're going to zip through. Inside, Tom Modernist sculptures from the 80s. And why not paint for Veterans Day the fire hydrant? I'm an artist, I'll paint on anything. Lake Worth Playhouse, also Moorish Deco from 1924. The hurricane came and it became streamlined modern. And it looked like that was the marquee until I got my hands on it. And I designed a new logo. And this is what it looks like today with neon. It's the gateway to downtown. Sharon Koskoff. Whoa. Okay. But I couldn't stop there. Next door is the Sansik Theater where they have the foreign art films. So I went and sat on the roof and painted the whole place, including the doors, so it would be more inviting. They built the Art Deco Publix because the commissioners said to Publix, Sharon Koskoff says, Lake Worth has Art Deco. We want Art Deco. And they made Art Deco Publix. The casino was this from Edgar S. Wharton, very boxy. I know, I'm not saying it's beautiful, but when they went to restore it, they did not restore it. They just recreated a fantasy. Because recreation, if that was the building that existed, you can't make that and say, oh, that used to be there. Can you? But we have lots of things to be grateful for. We get lots of attention and publicity. Again, we see Diana at the Norton. And it says right here, hold it. It says right here, maybe, it's not just a Miami Beach scene. And we see the lower right building. We turned it into this. So a little paint and color goes a long way. There's Papa Ruby painting a mural in the Art Deco school. And we're going to end with Belford Shoemate and this sketch. Oh, we'll just keep going. V8 engine. Woo! We just lost this building, and this is where we're going to end. We lost this building, but look, I got the lighting, right? There's the lighting. I got both of them. I got the guy to rip it off for me. I checked every day. I went to the construction zone. I'm Sharon Koskoff. Preserve our Art Deco heritage, or we will have no history to leave for our children. And our Art Deco World Congress will be in Cleveland. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you all have to stay 1 minute because I have to get a really good picture of all of you, right? One picture. One picture. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Woo! I'll be signing books in the back. If you have any questions, feel free. Thank you. In 2019, we see the new facade of the Norton Museum of Art in West Palm Beach. Thank you from Sharon Koskoff, Art Deco Society of the Palm Beaches, with videography by Ron Warren. Thank you.